Hey everybody, Kevin here. It's 50 degrees in here. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Thank you for being here. Today we're going to talk about making thin strips. I'm making them for Kumiko infield. I'll put a picture of it right here. All the little pieces that get mitered and stuff, I've ripped crap loads of them this weekend. I spent like 3 hours, probably made 300 or 400 of them, 30 inches long or whatever, because I really want to start putting this stuff together. Like all of you out there, I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and everybody has their own way of ripping strips. But I've watched a lot of people make these huge jigs that are one side of the blade does this, and this one does this over here. Looks like it took them 2 or 3 days to build it. You know, it has knobs on it and this and that. You can adjust everything. And the one guy had a piece of wood that he's cutting the strips with another piece of wood with a handle on it as he's pushing it in to the blade, and it's just piling up just crap loads of little tiny 1/8 inch by 1/2 inch sticks that have saw curve on both sides.
Super genius.
What? I don't want saw curve on both sides of my stuff. So I'm going to show you today how I go about doing this. I don't build any jigs. I don't do any of that crap. I just treat it like it's a piece of wood, but it's small, it's skinny, right? So here's the damn thing. See? Million's million, doesn't matter what you're doing. You don't get any special jigs. Oh, the special jig, it makes it wonderful. You can cut 1/8 inch strips left and right. Well, you got a freaking table saw and you have a fence. It's just like milling a 3 inch piece of wood, except it's an 1/8 inch. All right, so for me, first thing, I use a zero clearance plate and a brand new rip blade. I have ordered a little tiny 16th inch blade so you can save even more wood, but that's just me being weird and I wanted to see how it worked. A $225 blade. I'm not talking about that now. We're talking about Kumiko strips. When it's all done, it's going to be 1/8 inch by a 1/2 inch tall. It's all the little pieces that you make and you cut them, and I made all the jigs and all that crap. I'll show you that later on. I even have a little disc sander over here I made a bunch of jigs for so I can make little tiny pieces without me having to carve. Try to hold my finger next to something very sharp. So here's the deal. I made these. This is no big deal. This is just like anything else, but it has a bigger foot on it, a shoe, whatever the hell you want to call it, and it's 1 inch wide. I made 3 of them, and I used this one first. I did about 200 using this. The whole key to this is to keep it flat. Let's say this is the table. Keeping it flat on the table is key. That is key. So it's easy to balance. This is nice and thick, and get that right up against the fence as you're doing it also, and don't move it. You want to go down and as straight as possible until you get out of the freaking blade, and then you remove your stuff. You can see here, I narfed it a few times going in because I wasn't paying attention. I did it a couple hundred times. You become complacent, and that's where accidents happen. This really isn't an accident. This is just something I did because I was, on my 200th rip and I was getting tired of it. I'm gonna show you in this video my little process, right? Joint, pile, and then rip a pile, mark a pile, throw them over there, go join them again, rip a pile, mark them, throw them over in the pile. And that's what I did, okay? I didn't do one at a time because if I did one at a time, I'm constantly walking back and forth. Even though they're like 3 feet away, I would have put on 5 or 6 miles because there's so many to cut. I'm also going to show you how to mill little tiny ass skinny ass pieces. Hold on. I can actually join this piece here on my joiner, and just to get one more piece of purple heart, I'm going to show you a special technique so you could do the same thing using a skinny board jig. I have a video called skinny board jig somewhere. I usually stop when it gets like this because otherwise it gets a little crazy, and you don't want to join things when you're behind the guard or your fingers are down below the guard. No, I have 2 friends of mine that are both missing half their pinky on an angle like that from dragging their pinky when they're joining a piece of wood like this.
Super
Just took the tip right off. Idiots! Don't be an idiot. That's why we use things like the skinny board jig and a few other things. This thing right here, I made a long time ago. It's got a 100 grit paper on there. Look, it's falling apart. Looks like a whale. You can do this too, right? If you have small, skinny ass boards, let's say you got something like this, right? This is a better way to do it than using your damn fingers. This is just a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, pocket screwed to an old push stick. Boop, there you go. You can make them lighter if you want to. This little piece right here, we'll shove these little 1/8 inch strips right out, no problem. And don't let them pile up. Just push them out, mark them, put them to the side. Don't let them pile up in front of your saw. I don't know how many videos I've seen of people doing that. And they're all piling up and they got their little machine and they're, oh, I got a handle on this one. I'm pushing that in there and I'm doing this. Oh, wait, that didn't work. I got to do this. And they have saw curve on both sides of their hunk of wood. At least I'm going to have one joint side that I know is going to be super smooth because I have a spiral head joiner and it's going to be super smooth and clean. The other side's marked with a pencil and we're just going to run through the drum sander on my jig and sand them someday when I get a chance to do that. So I time myself ripping a bunch of these little 1/8 inch strips. They're all about this long. See, they're kind of similar in length, and I did about 65 in about a half hour. So whatever that is, 65 and a half hour, 65 times 30 inches or whatever. All right, everybody. Well, here's the video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I can explain this and it's not all blown out. Somehow I hit the damn microphone on the last one I tried to do and it's blown the fuck out. Sounds like this. Hello, everybody. The whole freaking thing until about halfway through. Back to editing. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Yee. Magic button. Our table saw is set at 5/32 of an inch. It's a 32nd over 1/8 of an inch. When you're doing a bunch of milling, what usually winds up happening is sometimes things get a little jumbled up over here, right? You can't remember what side's what. So usually what I wind up doing, see the rough sawn edge? I usually leave that on there so I could actually know what side is up on the joiner. This has the same thing. Now this one didn't have that. So what I did is I put a bunch of X's and I wrote up on this side here. Pencil marks on there and it says up. So it comes off the saw here, goes onto the joiner, and all I do is flip it up and say, oh, there's the rough sawn part right there. That goes up. We're gonna start with these guys right here. You see, this side goes up. And then these last two, which are little, I'm gonna show you special technique so you can actually join little small boards. Okay, ready? Joiner set at 32nd of an inch. Works amazing. Now we have these two guys, right? Small. We're gonna use contrasting woods today. This is the rough side, so we're gonna use that. If I wanted to join this by hand, I probably could. I just have to run it through until it comes on this side and then run it this way, right? That you can do, but you shouldn't stick your fingers under here, boop, and join a piece of wood. This one's the same thing, right? We could do the same thing here, but your fingers should not be behind this guard at all. So this is how this is gonna work. I'm gonna use this piece of wood right here because it's a little bigger than that one. I'm gonna put one on top of the other and we're gonna shove it on through. I'm just gonna keep feeding it until we're all the way out. You can see there, this is about the same size as that one. This one's a little longer, but we could still do the same thing, but we pull this out with our fingers once it gets past the guard. This would be your skinny board jig. The rough side goes against the rough side. Ready? Here we go. Right down on top, and I'm gonna pull it away here. It's now jointed. Rough side to the rough side. I can even do it smaller using the same technique. And once we run through the next cycle, I'll show you. So stay right there. I'm gonna rip these down and I'll be right back. All right, here, we're gonna show you this too. So since I'm using a 1-inch wide push stick, when these get below an inch, they're kind of hard to deal with. I'm gonna show you how I go about cutting these. Use a kindergarten pencil right here. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, don't do it. I can probably get 2 more rips out of each of these. We're gonna run these through and it's gonna chatter. That's what it always does. And as we get through down to here, there's a little Allen wrench right there. And that's kind of where the blade comes down into. There's also this line here. It's where the blade goes down into the saw. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna run this through until I get right about there. Take my pencil and I'm gonna hold this here and I'm gonna shove through and let that go all the way down. It's like using your finger, but you don't wanna get your fingers that close to anything like the blade, because that's not good. So here we go. Hopefully you can see this. Starting to make that chattering noise. Then you push in here. Mark that, put it over here. Put that down here with all the other crap. Same with the sapele. See that? But now we're gonna join this piece right here. Look how small that is. Okay? Here we go. This worked last time pretty good. We're gonna use the rough side, which is right here. All right, that rough side goes up. See how it moved back a little bit? I wasn't pushing that hard. That little guy right there is jointed, ready to go. That side is jointed. All right, it's a little tapered right here. All right, tapered. Now we're gonna go rip this one more time, and then this board will be done. there it is. Oh God. All right, they're all pencil marked, joined out, little 1/8" strip, right on the money. And that's basically it. All right, there you go. Thanks for watching. Hello, I'm back. All right, there we go. Did all that. Did that in no time flat. Even with those little tiny pieces, itty bitty little pieces, you can still get your exact rips. 5/32 or larger, I think is what I wanted. This is the way I'm gonna make them from now on. Frames I'm gonna make differently, because I've seen probably 20 different ways of cutting the frame on Kumiko. Just like I've seen probably 20 or 30 different ways of making the strips. Oh yeah, you gotta have a jig, man. You gotta make a jig. Here's my jig. It is a jig, I guess, you know, it's just a freaking stupid ass push stick. This is the most important thing right here. 1/2 inch and a foot or a shoe or whatever you want to call this to sit on to help you keep this square and try not to twist it too much. This is all you need right here. You don't have to have a handle on it. It could be square. It could just be a hunk of plywood. Who cares? I mean, I could probably make another one out of those stupid things. I just don't want to because it vibrates and shatters and does, you can hear it. It starts making all sorts of weird noises. It's not liking it too much and it's liable to do something weird. And then next thing you know, you wind up with one of these stuck in your left nut. All right, everybody. Well, there you go. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that was helpful to some of you out there. If you have any questions or comments, please do so below. Thanks for watching. Hit the hype button, whatever that means. Somebody told me, oh, you got 1,200 hypes. What the hell? Likes, I understand. Hypes? What the hell is that? I don't even know. But thanks for doing that, whatever the hell it is. And I appreciate y'all out there. And questions, comments, do so below. And I'll see you next time right here on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. That's me. Adios, amigos.